Well, hello there, everyone. How y'all doing? It's Saturday, February the 10th, year 2023. Hopefully, doing outstanding. This is Mazske Finance coming to you currently from the country of Panama. Yep, everything is hard before it gets easy. Do you agree with that? How about most everything is hard before it gets easy? What am I talking about? I'm talking about investing and other aspects of life. Anyway, who am I? I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just a lowly blue collar guy. I was enlisted in the Navy. I was a blue collar cop. Turned down promotions in the police department because I wanted to spend more time with my kids. I didn't want to be a supervisor where I had to work shift work, rotating shift work. Did it anyways at times. But anyway, I did it for other reasons. Turned down being on the SWAT team and other stuff because my children and my spouse were more important to me than accolades at work. Anyway, that's just me. And also at that time, in my own mind, I was confident because I had some mutual funds that I'd be better than most peers when I did retire. And I was also dead set on retiring when I had exactly 20 years in the police department. So anyway, I digress. What do I mean by everything is hard before it gets easy? Okay, let's think about a couple different things. You want to lose weight. You're overweight. It's hard. It's hard, isn't it? It can be, but it's hard because you make it hard up here. Same thing with investing. Before you buy your first rental house, a lot of people, when they start looking into it, and they actually find one and they start talking to a lender, it's stressful. You can talk to everyone and their brother that you know when they buy their first home to live in. A lot of people will say it's super stressful. What causes stress? Sometimes it's external factors. It's our boss stressing us out. It's our spouse stressing us out. But many times it's right up here. That's what's causing our stress. Okay? But once you do something, once you lose that first 5 pounds, think about when you're a kid, when you first want to learn how to ride a bike. I can remember when I first learned how to ride a bike. I got on a bike. My dad was working a lot. It was a neighbor. He put me on a bike. I was on the little front porch of his house, little stoop, I guess. He said, let's take these training wheels off. And he had me get on the bike. And I started pedaling. I fell over. And I got back up. And before long, I was getting better and better and better. And I can remember in front of his house, I lived in a kind of a neighborhood of about 10 houses in the midst of cornfields, creeks, streams, hills, etc. It was interesting. It was a great place to grow up. But that neighbor, he had a big hill in front of his yard. And I can remember that back then it wasn't paved. It was at that time, I think, they had put gravel down. They sprayed it with black tar and put gravel down. And I was going down the hill. My neighbor just happened to be outside. I remember going down the hill. I didn't know he was there. And I just started wobbling on my bike. I was a little kid. I don't know, 4 years old, 5 years old. Look, and I started wobbling. And boom, I fell over in the street. It hurt. I remember I scuffed myself up. And I remember he came out. He picked me up. Kind of make sure nothing was broken. And he's like, well, you got to do it again. And by golly, I did it again. And I just kept on going. I remember another day. Well, I won't tell this story. How I almost cut my thumb off, but I won't tell the story right now. But anyway, investing. Before you buy, I've talked to a lot of people about investing. Going back in time, when I was investing in mutual funds, I talked to a lot of people. When I started investing in individual stocks, I told a lot of people. When I started buying rental property, I told a lot of people. And almost every time, every person answered me something to the fact, I don't have time for that, I don't have the money for that. Really? I don't buy it. I do not buy it. Why? Because I didn't make a lot of money. 1998, I was making $23,000 a year with 2 young kids and a wife who had just had a baby and wasn't working. Had a new house to me that I bought. It was like 50 years old at the time, but mortgage with 1 paycheck out of 2. I didn't have a lot of money, did I? Money was tight. 2 little kids, time was tight. Brand new police officer, rotating shift work, 12-hour shifts, daytime, nighttime. Worked as much overtime as I could in between those 12-hour rotating shifts. And by golly, I was tired. But I kept investing. I kept putting a little bit of money into some form of investment. When I bought my first rental property, I remember being a little confident about it. I had paid off my primary residence. I had just a little bit of money saved up in my Roth IRA and this and that. And I had decided to get a HELOC on my primary residence, and I did for $30,000. I remember the credit union I used was telling me I could get a higher dollar amount. I said, no, I want $30,000 only. I don't want to get myself in trouble. And I used that $30,000 to assist me in paying the down payment to buy that first house. And I remember thinking, this is easy. This is easy. I didn't go to the credit union. I went to an online bank, Access Bank. It was called something else back then, Bank of the Internet, I think. I used them. Like, this is easy. I got a good, decent credit score. It's easy. And then I bought the house. It needed a little bit of work. Not a lot, just a little bit. Somehow I found a guy. I know how I found him. I found a guy that would do the work. We had to get a new roof on the shed. I had a shed in the backyard because it was like the shingles were just falling apart. They're swelling up and whatnot. They're nasty. And then some other stuff. Painted the inside, I think. Cleaned it up. The missus and I, we cleaned it up. And then we got the first tenant. And I remember meeting her. And she gave me most of the first month's rent, and the deposit was coming tomorrow. And I said, okay. I had cash in my hand. $100 bills. I was like, I like this. This is easy. This is easy. And then she moved in. And tomorrow came. And the next day came. And the next day came. I never got that deposit. The next month came. And I didn't get the rent when it was due. But then I did get the rent after I was really getting on her. I got the rent. That was the last time I got rent from her. I served her with a 5-day pay or quit notice, I think it was called, whatever it's called. It was hard. It stressed me out. She stood there crying. She had 2 little kids talking about how hard life was and her kids and how I was mean, gonna kick her out of the house. And I was like, I have a mortgage to pay. You know, I just have a mortgage to pay. I need my rent. And then she knew what she was doing because it went on. We went to court. She didn't show up in court, but she called after court had started because I was sitting in the front row. And I heard the clerk walk in and tell the judge that such and such person, I heard the name, it was my tenant, had called saying she was sick and she couldn't make court. And the judge looked at the clock and he's like, well, she was supposed to be here at whatever, like 9 o'clock, and now it's 9:15. We're holding the case. And then he called the case up next, and it was me. And I was told that I didn't know what to do. After he found in my favor, I was told to go talk to the court clerk. I had to pay something to the clerk. Clerk told me to go down and talk to the sheriff's department. The sheriff's department said I had to wait like 10 days, 10 business days. I waited. And then I went back. And then they said, I got to make an appointment to get her served, to get it 24-hour notice, but we're backlogged, like 2 weeks. So wait again. And then I met them. We had a date and time set up, and I met them at the morning, and I was there. And when the 2 deputies walked in, they greeted my tenant by name. They knew her. And 24 hours later, she was gone, but it was a lot of drama in between that time period. And it really, really stressed me out. It was hard. And I remember I said, I almost want to give this up. I talked to the missus about it. Do I sell this house? Stocks is so easy. Real estate, you're dealing with people, it's hard. But I kept it. I did a little bit of studying. I found YouTube. I might have read a book on real estate investing or something. I found better tenants. I got a good family in there. They started giving me checks, rent checks on time every month. My next tenant, a year later, that family moved out because they were buying a house across the street. They moved out. My next tenant, I did the same thing, screened her well. She moved in. That would have been in 2018. The tenant's still living there. She's probably one of the best tenants I've ever had. She's still there. So it got easier, but it was hard at first. I bought other houses out of state. I started having drama occur. Tenants not paying. I wanted them evicted. It was hard. As time went on, it got easier. I remember back when I was running as a kid. When you first started, it was kind of hard, but it got easier. I remember when I played baseball. Little League Baseball, I started probably 5, 6 years old. The first time, I think I struck out I either struck out or walked every time I bat. And I remember I kept my stats. I wrote them down. I only batted like 13 times that short season. Next year I was a year older. Maybe I batted a 250 batting average. And then a 280 batting average. And then I think I was in 5th grade. That was my best year ever. I think I hit, I don't know, 3-something, 400-something on my batting average. I had 2 home runs, several triples. I had stolen bases. I played first base. I had a great time. It got easier. And it's that way with everything with life. I see so many people now, they get married, they get divorced. Get married, they get divorced. They don't realize they got to make it over that hump. Because when you first get married, especially when you're young, when you first get married, it's hard. But you got to work at it. It's 2 people, you got to work at it. And it will get easier. Most of the time, not 100% of the time, most of the time. When you have a kid, I remember being scared to death when my first son was born. I was like, I'm now responsible for another human being. What about if I mess up? I didn't want to mess up. But it got easier. By the time the first kid, I remember my wife and I, we were living in Puerto Rico, and we're like, do we put him in the grass? I said, little boy, we don't want to get him dirty, you know, there's germs down there. Time my second kid came along, woo, throw him up in the air, catch him, throw him over my shoulder. It got easier. You know, it just got easier. Everything gets easier with practice. You've heard that 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours to become the expert on something. It's the same thing with investing. That's what this is all about. That's what this channel is about. Doesn't matter if I talk about health, eating healthy. If you don't want to eat healthy, you're being foolish. You're playing with fire. You're going to kill yourself. You know, with the stuff that's in our food out there. So you got to eat healthy. That's why I talk about it, because what's the point of being wealthy if you're not healthy? Okay, it's common sense, kind of, sort of. Sure, you can sneak a little bit, do a little bit of this or that, but by and large, live a healthy life. Okay? But with investing, it will get easier. You got to stick with it. You've heard me say, you've heard guests on my channel say, you got to reach down and pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You got to pull that belt tight. You got to learn how to be frugal. Learn how to invest. Learn how to save that down payment. Learn how to learn your market. Learn how to run the numbers. Every single real estate investor out there is not a math genius. Every single real estate investor out there does not know home construction. Every single real estate investor out there may not have graduated from high school, may not have gone to college, but they stuck with it. They learned how to do it the best way they could do it, because we're all different. Some real estate investors, they save a lot of money because they do all the home repairs themselves, at least for a period of time. Others, from day one, hire property managers. They're hands off. They're busy at their job. They can't all the time to do anything. Others, it's like, say myself. I manage my own properties, 5 units, and I decided to go out of state. I bought in 4 different states, 5 different states altogether. And I then had to learn how to trust property managers. At first, it was hard, but it got easier. My hope, my goal with this channel is hopefully to break the ice for you just a little bit. You still got to put forth the effort. You still got to do the work. But no, others have done the same thing. Others will do the same thing in the future. You can do it. It's going to be hard. There will be times you will want to give up because it will stress you out. It will be hard, but it will get easier with time, with effort, with grit, and just keep plugging away. Just keep plugging away. Because it's always hard when you start, but it gets easier at time. But there's always going to be some obstacle to overcome. All right? Just hang in there the best you can. All right, and if you're still here, guess what? I got less than 2 months to live in this house. And guess what? I have found another house. Hopefully it works out. It's beachfront. I've been to it. I can see the beach from my back porch. I can see the beach from my bedroom window. I can see the beach from my kitchen sink. And if I walk through the backyard, which is very pretty, trees and flowers, through a gate, I got a key, or I'll get a key if I move in there. I can unlock that gate, walk down some steps, and I'm on the beach. I can sit on the back porch with a morning cup of coffee. I can hear the waves coming in. It's the Pacific Ocean. I can sit in a chair down by the fence, by the gate, and it's right down there. I can walk down the beach, put a chair down there, put something in a little bit of shade. I don't like to be in the direct sun for too long. Put something with some shade, sit down there, drink my cup of coffee, go down midday, go down in the evening. Maybe the missus and I will go for walks. We already got it planned out. We had to talk with some people. We can walk down the beach. They got farther on down, they got an exit point on the beach. You can go up to the street. We can walk the beach because we can't walk as far as we can here. We can walk down the beach, walk up the exit to the street, come down the street, come through our front gate. It's an electric gate, but we got a door we can open to get in the front fence. Come through the gate, walk through our backyard, go through that gate, back down those steps, back on the beach, and we can have a track. We can walk in a circle. We can walk on the street. We can walk on the beach. We can walk on grass. We'll see if it works out. If it does, it'll be a 12-month lease. During those 12 months, I'm already laying the groundwork. I'm already starting to pursue leads. I'm going to try, I think, to start buying some investment property here in Panama. We'll see if it works out. Panama is a different monster. It's a different creature. It's not as easy as the United States. But remember, everything starts hard and it gets easier. All right? All right. It's getting long. Have a great day. Sorry for the delay in making other videos. I think my last one was last Sunday. I'll try to get more consistent. It's just I've been busy, having fun. Sometimes sitting around thinking, what kind of life do I have? The missus and I, we walk on the beach. We stop at a beach bar sometimes, and we'll sit in a chair out in the sand. It's in the evening. It'll be sun setting, the pink and red hues up in the sky. Sometimes we see the full moon down there. And we just sit there and we're like, we're not 65, 72 years old. We're in our 50s. What kind of life do we have? It's pretty nice. We were just up in Boquete last week, up in the mountains. I've been talking to some folks about going down to Colombia. I'm talking about going to the U.S. My boys are going to come down here and visit me. We might move into another house where we're living on a beach for the first time in my life. By golly, what kind of life do I have? Tomorrow's not guaranteed. So plan for tomorrow. Live for today. Cherish your memories from yesterday. So live for today, but don't be foolish or reckless because you got to plan for tomorrow because odds are tomorrow's going to come. All right, that's enough. Have a great day. Maskies signing out.